Hello and welcome to Punk Rock Tabletop. This week our content is brought to us by a Patreon subscriber over at patreon.com/theculturecache. This is by Greg Bateman, who is wanting some information on a Game of Thrones board game. Well, buddy, I just recently picked one up. Perhaps this is the one you're looking at yourself, and I'm going to unbox it and look and see what we are taking a look at. So let's open this box and see what's inside. First thing I noticed upon opening the box is a Fantasy Flight Games Winter 2015 catalog. I think I've talked about a few of their games beforehand. The front page is covering an X-Wing miniature game that I might look into in the future. Behind it is a pretty hefty rulebook, but no more or less hefty than Arkham Asylum, so might be a little bit of an undertaking, about 30 pages long, but thumbing through, nothing too daunting. I see behind the rulebook a little packet containing quick reference cards for all the players. This I particularly enjoy in slightly more complicated games like Arkham Asylum and things like that, because I forget a lot of things quite often, so if I can have a little page as a reminder in front of me, I always appreciate it. Next I find a little saran wrapped thing of 3 cardboard things full of tokens and little markers and a little pop out sword, and I can only assume that is a what is that, a Throne of Swords? What's up with this Game of Thrones thing anyway? Seeing little markers for crowns and fire and axes with numbers. This could look fun. Looks like behind that might be a game board. Let's pull that out and take a look at that. Opening up the game board, there are several things that I immediately notice. One, I noticed that Jasper Boodle of the New Hampshire Boodles has already proclaimed a portion of the land for himself. I will not contest that. I'm also noticing lots of locations around the rim of the board for marking things that are clearly seen by everybody sitting around it. The size of the board is very, very nice on what I'm assuming is a standard size coffee table. That was one of my slight issues with the Arkham Asylum board game, was if you set it on a coffee table, you have almost no room for anything else. I'm liking the size and detail of this board, actually. What else might be here in this here box? Alright, looking under the game board in the box, I see one pouch containing cards, another pouch containing smaller cards, something weird in the center that I've not investigated yet, and okay, either this whole Game of Thrones thing really loves maps, or they just love decorations of terrain on paper. Either way, I guess it's an interesting dynamic. Let's figure out what these things here in the center are. It looks like the little paper cardboardy things in the center represent the different houses in the Game of Thrones universe that I assume are vying for the throne. My favorite one might be the big gray fuzzy one that's in motion in the background from House Sargeras, I assume. There is a lot of information on the back of these cards. Having not read the rulebook yet, not a lot of it makes too much sense, but I do see that there are unique starting units on the board, and let's see, unique starting locations, which kind of makes sense. I'm assuming that these things not only provide you specific information about your house, but also might hide either cards in hand. I saw cards earlier, I assume they're going to be used, or other pieces that might need to be hidden from the player. Either way, it is kind of cool to be able to look across the table and see crests of the opposing sides. So moving on from there, let's take a look at some of these cards. Opening the 2 packs of cards, I'm showing that the smaller ones seem to have some symbols and numbers, just sort of random, and the backs of them are all the same. So I'm guessing the point of these cards is to eventually draw them, and nobody knows what they're doing in your hand or what they'll do for you in the future. It's sort of a little hidden thing. The more standard size cards seem to be a mix of, looks like some sort of victory sort of cards there to the bottom as I've placed them out. A whole array of character cards. A lot of names don't mean anything to me. I just like the look of the Hound, Patchface, and this Sir Jaime Lannister dude. He seems pretty cool. Why not? And some sideways cards. Winter's Coming. I pulled out because I like winter. I like it cold outside. And I figure a game titled The Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones card might be the best one in the box. Who knows? I don't know yet. We'll figure this out together. Upon further investigation and digging a little bit deeper into the box, the little topography cardboard decoration seems to be hiding not chewy, colorful, tasty candies as I mistakenly thought at first, but little bitty game pieces of various colors and shapes. So I'm guessing these are what the board are for. Yeah, the longer I stare at these pieces, the more I'm reminded of, I'm guessing, fancy type of fruit chews, but that could be because I've not had dinner yet. So, tell you what, I will make this promise to you, visitors here at www.theculturecache.com and Greg Bateman. I'm going to go heat myself up some dinner and start looking at this instruction book. I'm guessing it might take me about a week to figure all of this out, and maybe longer than a week to find some fruit chews the same shape and colors as these pieces. So while I work on all of that, feel free to go to www.theculturecache.com. Check out all of our various topics we have on there, covering video games, movies, board games, cosplay, and all that good jive. And if you want to be an awesome rock star like Mr. Bateman over here, feel free to go to our Patreon account where, as you see, your dollar influences the content that you see on your computer screen. Can't get more value for your dollar there.